Hi everybody, my name is Eli.
I'm Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
We're the YHWH YouTube channel.
And we thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. Our family is your family. We love you guys very, very much. We care very, very much about all of you guys. And we care very much about the condition of your soul and where your soul is going, as well as our souls and where our souls are going. And so all of these lessons that we do, there are no fingers pointing at you. There are fingers pointing back at us, because we learn a tremendous amount about the way our Messiah walks, the way he thinks, the way he talks, the way he operates. And these are some amazing stories that we've never ever heard before. And we are deep into the book of Khalid, which is in the book of the Natsarim, which Adam from the Parable of the Vineyard put together. And again, much thanks to Adam from Parable of the Vineyard for allowing us to just use this. He gave us he gave us no problems whatsoever. We asked him if we could use this. We asked him if we could take this and restore it even further from what he did. He had no problems with it. His what he said was, as long as it is for the people of the kingdom. And that is the attitude that we should all have, that we are all fishing for men, not fishing for our pocketbooks, not fishing for all this kind of stuff. And we are told to seek our Creator and to help others find him. And so let's get going right here. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good.
Everyone alive?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. It's better than death. 46. The priest said, "Where then is the kingdom of heaven?" Yahushua answered, "Beyond earth lie the domains of a Ruach, and therein are the kingdom of heaven and the principality of evil, places of light and glory, and of darkness and despair." All right, so we have a little bit about the afterlife. Excuse me. Right? So we have a description of
Heaven.
Yeah, kingdom of heaven, and then we have it talks about the principality of evil. Now, principality of evil, I think, would be Hasatan, right?
Or maybe like hell.
Well, this one is capitalized, right? It says principality of evil, unless hell is a common or a proper name.
Yeah, people do like cities and stuff, like places.
Yeah, I guess that could be it. It talks about places of light and places of glory and of darkness and despair. Now, this is what we are absolutely trying for in all of our stuff, is trying to keep people away from the darkness and despair. And a lot of us get caught up in this world that we are in. A lot of us find that we are despair, and we find depression in this land that we are in. And, a lot of this has to do with our environment. A lot of it has to do with our conditions. A lot of it has to do with our faith. A lot of us aren't close enough to our Creator to have this faith. And if we get despair, and if we find a road to depression right here, and we're never able to dig ourselves out, I fear that it's going to be far worse. Because if we do not find that Torah road, if we do not find that kingdom path, and if we just sit there and there's no hope on anything, then what comes later is even worse. If we don't make the kingdom, if our souls if Messiah says, "Depart from me," where we are going sounds absolutely terrible, right? Darkness and despair. Does anyone here want to go to darkness and despair?
No.
Okay, yeah, that's not a good place to go. Let's go on. Let's continue on. Another priest said, "Tell us about the Ruach." Yahushua said, "A vintner asking for wine. Does mine so much excel yours?" Okay, now I had to look up the word vintner.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay, anyone want to take a guess of it in
Maybe
this
like
context?
maybe like a wine test or something.
Close.
So let's do wine.
It does have to do with wine. Anyone?
Yeah, I assume it's a winemaker, like someone that
Yeah.
ferments the wine.
Yep, the winemaker, the people that are making the wine. So the priest, who is supposed to be extremely schooled in the Torah, extremely schooled in the Ruach of Elohim, he is asking a question. Tell us about the Ruach. And Messiah is like, you're a maker of wine. Does mine so much excel yours? I mean, and that's what he's saying, is the Torah that we have, there's one Torah for us and there's one Torah for the stranger. It never ever changes. And so it is crazy. The priests were looking for that kind of information. If you were a priest, you should know the Torah very, very well. You should understand this. But he didn't. 50. Then he continued, "Men understand the things wherein they place their hearts. If it be in worldliness, they know worldly things. But if it be in spirituality, they know things of the Ruach. He who is ever watchful of the wind never sows, and he who fixes his eyes on the clouds never reaps. The wind blows where it will, and though recognizing its sound, no man knows from whence it comes or whither it goes." This is very, very, very true. I will repeat the very first part of that. Men understand the things wherein they place their hearts. If you place your heart in Babylon, we become a Babylonian, right? If you are one of those HBO watchers, if you're watching the Live Vision, you're in on the world, right? You're part of the world. You're going to be part of it, and that's what you're going to understand. If you're sitting there listening to the I don't even remember what they call them, the comedy shows on TV, the 30-minute comedy shows that they have all the time, and you're sitting there just laughing at vulgarness, laughing at homosexuality, laughing at all of this crazy transgender stuff that they're going on and they're pushing on everybody, right? That is part of it, and that's what you will understand. But when you start seeking the Torah, when you start seeking the Creator and His Son, then your focus becomes a lot different. All of a sudden you realize that the kingdom path is something that is not easily achievable. It's not something that you can set and forget. You can't raise your hand at 8 years old and just once saved, always saved. All of these things are all complete myths. And the kingdom path is it's a journey. It is a very tough journey, and we will be tested. And the laws of our Creator aren't the tough thing. It is that those who are in Torah will be tested, because Hasatan absolutely hates Torah keepers. He absolutely hates it. If you are committed, if you are loyal, if you are hooking your ship and your line and your sinkers and everything to Messiah and Yahuwah's ship, then the devil wants you. He doesn't want the Christians that are eating the pork, that are worshiping on, the wrong day, celebrating Christmas, Easter, and all this. He already has them, right? He already has their hearts. And most Christians will never, ever change their ways. They are stuck in this indoctrination. And so if your hearts are in this, and it goes for the same, that if you are in one of these churches, that's where your heart is. That's where my mother's heart is. She loves her church. She goes to her church. She talks about her church all the time. And I don't know what to say other than I keep telling her that there is no Elohim in a temple made by man's hands on the wrong day, right? Your preacher, if your preacher blesses you on the way out, you've been blessed by Satan, right? If you want a blessing by Satan, go to a 501c3 church on a Sunday. 51. For the best advice on worldly matters, I would go to a worldly wise man, but I'm a spiritually wise man. Therefore, cannot you take notice when I talk of things I know? That I gain nothing from my teachings is obvious, for my clothes and manner of life bear witness to this. So we can, right out of the gate, we can tell Messiah didn't dress like the fancy Pharisees and Sadducees.
He wasn't rich.
Yeah, he wasn't rich, and it's obvious by my clothes and manner of life bear witness that he gains nothing, right? And that's the thing. All of these Bible vendors, I'm so sick of these Bible vendors, and every one of these guys, and they have just these really, really nice things, and they're just ripping people off here and there. And we have Messiah going around and probably close to rags, and he doesn't have fancy things. They don't have a tremendous amount of money. They have to go fish to pay the taxes, right? They couldn't even pay a couple taxes, like a couple things. They had just enough money to pay their taxes. They had to go catch fish. These people did not have a lot of money. And so money corrupts people absolutely. 52. Nearby a rich man stood listening, and now he said, have you never bought a tree for silver, and having worked it, sold the product of your hands for gold? If a man has seed, should he not let it rot? Should he let it rot? Is it not better to plant the seed so it yields an increase? And is not the sower entitled to this? YHWH said, the laborer is worthy of his hire, and he who sows is entitled to reap the increase. But remember, the sown seed does not grow through human effort alone. It requires rain and sun, and the soil must give up its goodness. These things come from Yahuwah as gifts to man. Why then should man deny Elohim's participation? Yahuwah says, as my share is above my needs, give it to my little ones. And should not the sower do the same? Okay, what is he saying here?
But it says you should be a hard worker. The guy asked him, he goes, because you're just talking about being rich, if you should be rich, you shouldn't show it off. And this guy's like, well, the rich man's like, well, I should need to do this, I should do my work, I should make a profit off what I do. And you're like, you are worthy of your work, whatever you do, you go with human increase.
Yeah, this is a farmer guy. This is a guy that's talking about this, and he goes, if whoever I have as a laborer, he's worthy of that hire. And he who sows is entitled to reap the increase. So if you are a business farmer guy and you are in the business of making more food, he's saying that is his. But Messiah says very clearly that it takes the rain and sun and soil, and that is all gifts of Elohim. We wouldn't have anything, right? If we couldn't grow in the soil, if we couldn't do any of this, we would be destitute. But our Creator has given us the abilities and the functions around us, the ground and the rain and the sun, that we are able to do this kind of stuff. And there's a big point to all of this because we are given all of this, we need to give this out to other people. 54. Therefore I say, he who fails to support the underprivileged in obedience to Yahuwah's wishes defrauds Elohim of his rightful due for what he has done. For cannot even an earthly partner decree what shall be done with the profit from this participation? I assure you, no man has ever made a profit wholly through his own efforts, and fraud perpetrated on the Most High Elohim will not be overlooked.
So Yehoshua comes back to the guy after he said stuff. He goes, if you are rich and you're not helping the people who aren't rich, you're helping the poor, you are defrauding Elohim.
Yeah.
You have the ability to help and you're not doing it. You know your profit, you know what you're gonna make, you know how much money you're gonna have, and you have more than excess. You should be helping that, or if not, you are defrauding Elohim.
Yeah, absolutely. 55. The rich man said, your words sound well, but the holy books say the donkey is loaded according to its strength. The more I give in charity, the more I am harried by beggars. Even if I gave all I had, it would fail to satisfy. Yahushua says, if your wealth is so burdensome, then sell all you have and give the proceeds to good causes. It is not wholly good to give charity, for this is like cutting the thorn weed, which quickly springs up again from the root. It is more worthy to dig up the root of poverty. This is that old saying, right? Give a man a fishing pole and teach him how to fish,
right,
other than giving him fish all the time.
Basically, more like hire him, pay him for a job.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about the world is, the North America spends more money on wars and has spent, for the last 200 plus years, it has spent a tremendous amount of money. And the amount of money that we spend in 1 year on wars, we could eliminate poverty. Poverty in the world could have been eliminated long ago. And it's not going to take one person, but it would take a change of the system. And, everybody's out there, it's another donation fraud. You'll see it on TV all the time. Everybody's like trying to help a couple kids here and there. But that's just giving money to the problem. It's not giving money to the source of the problem. And the source of the problem is that most of these people that are starving live in the sand, and they live out where they can't grow things, and there's no fresh water. There's none of this kind of stuff. So instead of us out there, building wells for these guys and helping them learn how to do things where they're not starving to death, we just give them money, and they get just like a handful of rice, and they get a little something, and they're still starving to death, and the poverty still exists, and we've never done anything about it. And Messiah is very clear. It's better to dig up the root of poverty, right? And if you find a guy that is on the street and you befriend him, right? You find he has a drinking problem, right? And every last dime that he has goes into that drinking. It is best to try to work with this guy and to eliminate the drinking problem than it is to just sit here and feed the drinking problem. And there's a lot of ways that we can do this, but unless you're willing to sit with this man and be okay that you might be sitting next to a drunk, you might be sitting next to somebody that he just needs a friend, right? And if you are sitting there willing to show a little bit of love, a little bit of compassion, maybe you could be the spark that lights the fire, that makes the change, that can change the world. And it's going to be thinking like that. And it was Messiah who came and became that spark for us and became the kindling. And we're supposed to take this and we're supposed to light these fires. We're supposed to show charity. We're supposed to show the love of Elohim. But we live in a world where that doesn't happen. All right, 57. Then the rich man said, having my responsibilities in a large household, I am caught between the millstones. For is it not said in the book of wisdom, no man should disregard his responsibilities? Yahushua said, the Torah brings all things to a balance of moderation. Does it not say it is sufficient to feed and clothe the women folk modestly, caring for their needs, but ensuring they are not spoilt by idleness? It suffices to provide your sons with learning and skill and your daughters with their dowries. There is nothing more you can give them. For above this you harm them with luxury. A poor man cannot spoil his family with overindulgence, but precautions against this are not the least of the rich man's burden. All right. I think we're going to leave it at that. And this is the end for the day. This is a really, really super long chapter, so we'll actually have 4 parts to this. Overindulgence, right? A lot of things can happen when you see a world where the kids get pretty much everything they want. People get whatever they want. We live in this world where it's like whatever it is we need, we get. Whatever it is we want, we get. And the overindulgences. If you spoil your kids like this, you'll destroy them, right? They will have no understanding of value of anything because they just get. But when you have to work for something, when it has to be something that you have to get with the sweat of your brow, you will appreciate it far more. And so I guess this will leave us with this. I guess the biggest point of this entire thing that I can find is that, again, we are told that if we are not taking care of those in need, we are ripping Elohim off. We are ripping him off because we have been given. We've been given freely. We've been given the skills. We've been given hands. We've been given eyes and nose and mouth and hair and bodies. We can take care of ourselves, right? Everything that we need has been provided for us. We can do this, and if we have a chance that we can help anyone else, that is what the kingdom of Elohim is about. It's not about hoarding what we have. It's about giving out that we have, and even for the people that are really super rich. Messiah says, if you feel as if you can't donate to people, if you can't help them out, if you can't help the broken, then you're still ripping Elohim off. And he said it's better for you to sell everything you have and to give it to charity. All right, guys, that is it, folks. We love you guys very much. We hope you're having a wonderful week, and that's it.
All right,
Shalom.